Translate that research paper I just sent and summarize the key points.
The paper you sent is too technical, and it's all in a foreign language. It might be a bit difficult for me.
Oh, sorry. I meant to send that to ChatGPT. Looks like I sent it to you by mistake.
Oh, I see. Well, that's impressive though, David. You're already using AI tools like that? I've been reading about AI in the news. It's amazing how much it can help with research.
This is just basic stuff. Everyone in grad school uses it.
Would you mind explaining a bit about how it helps with your research? I'd love to understand more about what you do.
Why bother? Not like you understand anyway. You barely finished middle school.
David, please, I know I might not grasp all the technical details, but I genuinely want to learn about your work.
Just stop. It's embarrassing watching you pretend to understand academic matters.
Of course, everyone around you is so smart. I can't help with AI assistance, but I'm always here to support your studies.
Ha! Who's supporting who? It's laughable being told that by a dropout. Support means lending straight to help someone. I'm in graduate school, clearly intelligent and promising. How could someone like you help me? You can't even translate a paper.
David, I know you're stressed with your studies, but that's unnecessarily harsh. What kind of attitude is that towards your mother? It's rude to mock me for being a dropout.
Listen carefully. You're not qualified to lecture me about attitude, and stop with this mother nonsense.
I've been your mother for 20 years. Why are you suddenly acting this way?
Rude. I'm just stating facts. Besides, you're not even my real mother. You didn't give birth to me. Stop acting like my mom.
I raised you since you were little. Remember when you were sick in elementary school? Who stayed up all night to take care of you?
That's what any babysitter would do. Don't act like it was special.
How can you say that? I was there for every fever, every scraped knee.
And you probably felt so proud of yourself for doing the bare minimum.
I may not have given birth to you, but I am your adoptive mother. I married Thomas and became your mother over 20 years ago.
Marriage doesn't make you my mother. You're just someone who happened to live in the same house.
We were a real family. You can't just erase those years.
But what if we lived together? You were just living under the same roof.
You used to be so sweet and affectionate when you were little. What happened?
I grew up and saw reality. That's what happened.
And reality means treating me like this?
When I was a kid, I didn't know how low class you were. I was devastated when I found out my father's new wife was a dropout.
Remember your 10th birthday? How happy you were when I made that rocket-shaped cake you wanted?
Why do you keep bringing up ancient history? I didn't know any better then.
Those memories mean nothing to you now?
Stop bringing up ancient history. I was just a stupid kid then.
What does education level matter? Value the person in front of you more than degrees or success. I never raised you to look down on people because of their education.
And there you go again, claiming you raised me. As if some nightclub worker could teach me values.
Is that what you think of me? After all these years?
It's what you are, isn't it? Let's be honest here.
20 years of being your mother, and this is what it comes down to?
I wasn't raised by some low-class dropout. This conversation is pointless. Just shut up.
David, watch your language. I am still your mother.
A mother? Don't make me laugh. A real mother would have an education.
Since when did a degree become more important than love and care?
Since I realized how embarrassing it is to have someone like you pretend to be my parent.
Excuse me?
You know how humiliating it is when my classmates ask about my family? Everyone else's parents are professors, doctors, lawyers.
And that makes them better parents.
At least they can understand their children's work. What can you understand?
I understand kindness, respect, and gratitude. Things you seem to have forgotten.
I'm tired of dealing with idiots. I'm staying at a friend's house tonight. Don't bother with dinner.
Running away won't solve anything, David. We need to talk about this.
Talk? About what? How you can't even grasp basic academic concepts?
David, please, we should talk about this properly.
There's nothing to talk about. Just leave me alone.
Thomas, I need to talk to you about David.
What's wrong? Sounds serious.
He's gotten worse, much worse.
What happened this time?
It's getting worse every day.
Tell me exactly what's going on.
Today he called me a low-class dropout and said, "You're not my mother."
He said what?
It's getting worse every day. Lately, David's attitude has been troubling me. He's openly looking down on me and saying horrible things.
He said that to you?
He won't even look me in the eye anymore when he's home. He treats me like I'm beneath him.
When I see him, he's always so respectful.
He won't even call me by my name anymore. I know you're busy with work, and David has his graduate research, so we barely get together as a family anymore. But when it's just the two of us, it's terrible.
That's hard to believe. He always praises you when he's with me.
Does he? When was the last time you really saw us interact?
Just the other day, I ran into him on the train home from work and we talked for a while. He expressed so much gratitude for you. He said he was able to go to graduate school thanks to both his parents' support. He specifically mentioned being grateful to you for supporting our household.
Well, that's news to me. When was the last time he said anything like that to me directly?
He didn't tell you?
He hasn't shown any gratitude in years. I've never seen such a sincere attitude from him. He's like a completely different person around you.
I really thought you two were getting along well. I don't think you're lying, but it's still hard to believe.
He's good at keeping up appearances. The neighbors all praise him as such a fine young man and wonderful son. But as soon as he gets home, his attitude completely changes, and he treats me like I'm beneath him.
Has this been going on for long?
Since he started graduate school, but lately it's gotten unbearable.
What exactly changed?
It started getting worse after he entered graduate school. Maybe the pressure is getting to him.
That's no excuse for treating you this way.
He used to at least be civil. Now he can't even stand to be in the same room.
Why didn't you tell me sooner?
I thought it was just a phase, that he'd grow out of it.
I'm sorry I never noticed. We've done so much to support our family all this time. Let me think about what we should do going forward. Even though he's a grad student, David is an adult now. Maybe it's time for him to become independent.
I don't want to cause trouble between you and David.
You're not causing anything. His behavior is the problem.
Maybe he's stressed from his studies, and I'm just a convenient target.
That's no excuse for cruelty.
Remember how he used to come home excited to show me his homework?
Things were different then.
Sometimes I wonder where that little boy went.
That could be part of it. I'll give it some serious thought. If he says anything terrible again, let me know right away.
I feel like I'm betraying him by telling you this.
You're protecting yourself. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, well, thank you for listening.
I'll try to be home more often. Maybe we should have more family dinners.
Well, that would be nice. I miss how we used to eat together. That's amazing, David. I heard from Thomas. Your research paper is going to be published in a journal?
Oh, you heard about that.
Of course, this is wonderful news.
That's nothing special. A dropout might not understand, but this is normal for university students. It would be more pathetic if I couldn't get published.
I read the title of your paper, something about quantum mechanics, right? Sounds fascinating.
Since when do you read scientific papers?
I looked it up online. I wanted to understand what you're working on.
Don't pretend you understand any of it. Embarrassing.
I may not understand the science, but I understand how hard you've worked.
As if you know anything about academic work.
Maybe so, but it's still the result of your daily efforts. And it's not just any publication. I heard your paper won an award, too.
Well, that's just expected of a genius. I am the son of a Harvard valedictorian, after all.
The award ceremony is tomorrow, right? What time should I be ready?
What are you talking about?
I'll dress up nice for tomorrow's award ceremony.
What?
I heard about the award ceremony from Thomas. There's going to be a ceremony for your paper, right? And families are invited. I'm looking forward to it.
No way! Dropout like you can't come to an award ceremony.
I'm your mother, David. Of course I'm coming.
This ceremony isn't just for me. There will be lots of other award recipients. Plus, professors from various fields will be there. It's a gathering of the nation's brightest minds. Someone like you doesn't belong there.
What did you say?
You'll embarrass me in front of everyone. You probably don't even own appropriate clothes for an academic ceremony.
There you go again. Dropout or not, I'm your mother. What's wrong with a mother wanting to see her son's moment of glory?
I told you, you're not my mother. Give it up, you low-class old hag. People without education really are hopeless. How many times do I have to say it? You're not my mother. There's no connection between me and someone like you.
No connection? Who packed your lunch every day for 12 years?
Anyone can make a sandwich.
I may not be your birth mother, but I've raised you for 20 years. How can you deny me as your mother?
Easy, because you're nothing but hired help.
What did you just say?
I wasn't raised by some low-class hag. You're just a living housekeeper. A housekeeper who looked after me for 20 years, nothing more.
A housekeeper? Is that really all I am to you?
What else could you be? Without any education, all you can do is cook, clean, and do housework. Just like a housekeeper.
After everything we've been through.
Through what? You doing basic household chores?
David, you really need to stop this. Education doesn't determine a person's worth.
But education does increase someone's value. I'm smart and accomplished enough to win awards. But you have no education and aren't particularly intelligent. Oh, I know. Should I make you a special award? Congratulations on 20 years of housekeeping service.
How dare you?
What? Did I hurt your feelings? Should I use simpler words so you can understand?
You think you're so clever with these insults.
At least I can be clever. What can you do?
How far are you going to mock me? I never thought David looked down on me this much.
Huh. I always wanted a mother I could respect. Actually, I wish my real mother could come to the award ceremony.
Your real mother?
Yes, my real mother. Not some substitute.
What did you say?
I wonder why Dad divorced Mom. I heard my birth mother was a Harvard graduate just like Dad. Such an accomplished mother could come to the ceremony. I could be proud. Having someone like you there would just be embarrassing.
You want to know about your real mother? Fine.
What do you know about her?
David, I've put up with every insult until now because you're family. Because you're important family. I tried to let all of it slide, but this is my limit.
So what? I don't care about your limits. And stop with this important family nonsense. Stop pretending to be a mother when you're just a low-class dropout. We're not parent and child. And I have a brilliant Harvard graduate mother.
Let me tell you about your real mother. If you miss her so much, I'll invite her to the ceremony. You don't seem to know much about your mother, so this is a good opportunity. It should be quite the touching reunion.
You know where my real mother is? And please, go ahead. I will surely be happy to see your son's moment of triumph.
Oh, she'll be overjoyed. There's a small monetary award that comes with winning, right? Oh, she'll definitely come for that. You can give it to your beloved mother. Tell her it's not much, but she can use it for her host club habits.
What are you talking about?
Your precious Harvard graduate mother and her expensive habits.
What do you mean, host club habits?
She abandoned Thomas, dumped you on me. What a terrible mother, but hey, at least she has a Harvard degree, right?
You're lying. My mother wouldn't.
Wouldn't what? Abandon her child? Spend all her money at host clubs? Which part sounds unbelievable?
Stop it! You're just jealous of her education.
She's your precious mother, after all. You must be happy just to have her come, no matter what kind of mother she is.
Well, wait a minute. Playing around? Dumping me? What kind of person is my mother? She graduated from Harvard, so she must be smart and successful. Isn't she a high-power professional?
A professional at spending money, maybe.
What's that supposed to mean?
Not at all. She only went to Harvard to find a rich husband. And while it's impressive she got in with that goal, she just partied the whole time. David, she's not someone you should respect.
You're making this up. You have to be.
Why would I make this up? Ask your father if you don't believe me.
What are you saying?
But that's your mother. She got into Harvard to marry a high-status man and become a comfortable housewife. After partying for 4 years, she locked onto Thomas and married him. I heard she didn't even look for a job, just married right after graduation.
She never had a job?
Oh, she had a job eventually, just not the kind you're thinking of.
What do you mean?
Then she got her dream housewife life and had you right away. But it seems she still hadn't had enough fun. She started sneaking off to host clubs behind Thomas's back. She quickly racked up debt, and to pay it off, she secretly started working at a nightclub, taking baby David with her.
That can't be true.
Can't it? Where do you think we met?
What?
Thomas was always away on business trips back then, but she couldn't leave a baby alone at night. So she worked at a club with childcare facilities, and I was one of the childcare workers there.
What? So Michelle, you worked at a nightclub too?
Yes, I worked at the same club. I couldn't say this before, but I dropped out of high school to pay off my parents' debts. Our family business went bankrupt, and I had to leave school. With only a dropout education, the only place that would hire me and let me earn enough money to pay off debts was a nightclub.
You're lying. This can't be.
Don't worry, I've paid off all the debt now. I worked like crazy and managed to clear it in a few years. But because I'd only done nightclub work, it was hard to get hired for day jobs. So I was doing behind-the-scenes work at the club then, which included helping with childcare.
That's where my mother left me there while she worked?
You were such a quiet baby, always watching everything with those big eyes.
But why would she need to work at a nightclub? Dad had a good job.
Our club had a lot of single mothers. It wasn't unusual to have kids in childcare. But your mother just wanted to enjoy the attention she got from all the customers, even though she had your dad. And then one day your mother dropped you off as usual for her shift and never came back to pick you up. She ran off with a customer, abandoning both you and Thomas.
No, it's impossible.
You were only 2 years old. You cried for hours.
What?
We couldn't keep watching you forever, so I took you home. That's when Thomas finally realized she'd run away. I told him everything, about the nightclub work, the host clubs, all of it. Thomas looked absolutely devastated then. I felt so sorry for him.
Dad never told me any of this.
Why would he? He wanted to protect you.
Wait a minute. How did that lead to you and Dad getting married? You were just my mom's co-worker at the nightclub.
Because you became attached to me. That's what led to the marriage. You might not remember, but you wouldn't let go of my hand. You were very attached to me, probably because I took care of you almost every night at the childcare facility.
I don't remember any of this.
You were too young, but you used to cry if anyone else tried to hold you. When Thomas saw that, he asked me to become your full-time nanny.
Full-time nanny?
Yes, he needed someone to care for you while he worked.
That's different from becoming my mother.
Thomas couldn't take time off from his corporate job, and his parents lived too far away to help. He desperately needed someone to take care of you, and I was looking for day work anyway. After spending years together like that, we ended up getting married.
So it was just convenience?
No, David, we became a real family. Your father and I fell in love, and you were already my son in my heart.
What is this? I've never heard of any of this before. My mother was a Harvard graduate, but such an irresponsible person?
Having a degree doesn't make someone a good parent.
Well, why tell me all this now?
But your brilliance must come from that mother, right? So let's invite your real mother to the ceremony. You can have your touching reunion there.
Hungover and reeking of alcohol, and then stole all the award money and ran away.
What? She didn't just take your award money, but all of it?
It's a disaster. She grabbed the envelope of all the award money during the reception.
How much did she take?
Not just ours. All the award money prepared for the ceremony. The professors and venue staff are furious. It's become a police matter. What am I supposed to do?
Don't ask me. I don't know. Maybe you should take responsibility as her son and get the money back. She's probably at some host club right now.
How can you be so cold about this?
Oh, now you want my help?
Hey, what's with that cold response? This happened because you invited my mother.
Wasn't this what you wanted? To meet your real mother?
Not like this. She embarrassed me in front of everyone.
You're the one who said you wanted your mother to come. You said you wished your brilliant Harvard graduate mother could come so you could show her off. I just granted your wish. Besides, you don't even consider me your mother, right? Then I won't consider you my son. Whatever trouble you're in doesn't concern me.
But this is serious. The university might press charges.
And how is that my problem?
What's gotten into you? Why are you saying things like this? Now you're concerned. You're my parent who raised me.
Only calling her parent when it's convenient? I can't believe my son turned out to be such a despicable person. David, I'm deeply disappointed in you.
Dad, when did you...
I know everything about how you've been treating Michelle. You've been saying terrible things behind my back.
Well, that...
Don't even try to explain it away.
But Dad, right now we have a bigger problem. The award money.
I sympathize about your birth mother stealing the award money and bringing shame by causing trouble at the venue. So what? You're telling Michelle not to act like your mother. You come crying to her pathetically? Michelle raised you for 20 years, despite having no connection to either you or that woman. She could have abandoned you, but she helped when no one else could care for you. She asked to become your mother. She's devoted herself to you all this time, and you hurt her.
That's not it, Dad. I didn't mean to hurt her. I was just stuck in a rut with graduate school and took it out on her.
So it's okay to say anything if you're just venting? Did you think a parent would forgive anything their child says?
I didn't think...
Clearly you didn't think at all.
Well...
For a supposed genius, that's incredibly shallow thinking. You know better than that. You're smart enough to understand. Words when spoken can never be taken back. You understand the situation as a result of your own actions, right?
It's a result of my actions.
I'm glad you understand. As expected of my son. And never come home again. Don't show your face to Michelle.
What? Dad, you can't be serious.
I'm completely serious.
You mean you're kicking me out?
That's the responsibility of someone who hurts others. I'll pay your tuition through this year. After that, you're on your own.
But Dad, that's too harsh.
Too harsh? Like how you've been treating Michelle?
Wait, Dad, I still have so much I want to do in graduate school. But I'm busy with research and studying from morning to night. I don't have time to work to save up tuition money.
You don't even know about scholarships? And yet somehow you wrote a paper.
There aren't many scholarships available at this level.
Is that so? Strange, because I know several of your classmates who have them.
Those are different. They're the top students.
And you're not? I thought you were a genius.
That's not fair. You know how competitive it is.
Now you understand competition? What happened to your Harvard pedigree?
Scholarships are just debt, right? You're going to make your son take on debt?
Don't worry, David. Your birth mother knows all about handling debt. Ask your brilliant mother you're so proud of.
Dad, please, I'm sorry.
If you won't acknowledge Michelle as your mother, I won't acknowledge you as my son. I want nothing to do with someone who lacks basic human decency. You may be a student, but you're an adult. Take responsibility for your words.
Can't we talk about this?
Like how you talk to Michelle? With contempt and mockery?
I know I was wrong.
There's nothing to discuss. You made your choice when you decided to treat Michelle that way.
Michelle, can we talk? Please answer. I need help dealing with the situation. Please, I need help. My birth mother won't answer my calls. I found her at a host club, but she just laughed at me. She won't return the money. The club owner says she's been there every night this week, spending money like water. I'm going to have to take out a loan. The ceremony staff is threatening legal action. They're saying I'm partially responsible since she was my guest. Dad isn't answering either. I don't know what to do. The university is considering disciplinary action. They say I brought disrepute to the institution. Michelle, I dropped out of graduate school today. I'm going to focus on my studies while working to pay back the loan. I'm sorry for everything. My quantum mechanics research, it seems so meaningless now. I understand now why you never replied. I didn't deserve a response after how I treated you. I got a job at a small company. It's not in my field, but it's honest work. I think I understand now what you meant about valuing the person more than their education. Today, my supervisor praised me for helping a new colleague. It reminded me of how you always helped others without expecting anything in return. I saw a mother and a child at the park today. The kid was showing his mom a drawing he made. It reminded me of when I used to show you my science projects. You always acted so excited, even though they must have seemed so simple to you. I miss those days. The company had a family day event. Everyone brought their parents. I sat alone during lunch. I drove past our old house today. The rose bushes you planted are still blooming. Remember how you taught me to prune them? I was terrible at it. You were so patient. I wish I had been half as patient with you. Happy birthday, Mom. I know you probably won't read this, but I hope you're doing well. Dad, too. I'm still working at the same company. My supervisor said I'm doing a good job. It's not quantum mechanics, but it feels good to be praised for actual work instead of just test scores. Remember when you used to say that being smart wasn't as important as being kind? I met someone from Harvard at work today. All they did was brag about the degree. I couldn't help but think of how I used to act. I understand now that the education doesn't make someone a good person or a good parent. You showed me love and dedication every day for 20 years, while my birth mother, all her prestigious education, could even show up sober to my award ceremony. It was so wrong. I'm sorry, Mom. I know it's too late, but I'm truly sorry.